Hey everybody out in YouTube land, my name is Mike and I love guitars. In today's video, we're going to check out the Marshall amp of my teen years. A Marshall that is now widely hated across all corners of the internet, and a Marshall that I will go to the death defending as one of the most misunderstood and underrated Marshalls of all time. Today, we're checking out the Marshall JCM900 Dual Reverb. Let's do this. Disclaimer! Disclaimer! Disclaimer. This is not a sponsored video. All gear in this video was either purchased by me or by a friend who's lending it to me for the purposes of this video. Most importantly, all thoughts and opinions expressed in this video are mine. Back around 1995, I had an absolutely awful rig that I desperately wanted to upgrade. I had a Crate solid-state half-stack and a Digitech GSP-21 Legend Pro rack mount processor. I don't even remember where I got all the pieces. Maybe a pawn shop, maybe the local guitar store, maybe both. The point is that it sounded absolutely awful in a way that only cheap solid-state gear from the 90s can sound. What I wanted was the flagship Marshall at the time, which was the JCM900 Dual Reverb. And for a reason that I don't even remember, I only wanted the 50 watt. So I was completely ignoring the 100 watt 5881 version that the local guitar shop had. And then one day I was talking to one of the employees there and told him how much I wanted the 50 watt 900. And he replied, "You mean like that one right there?" Without even looking, I said, "No, that's the 100 watt. I want the 50 watt. And he then told me that they had actually just sold the 100 watt and just took a 50 watt in trade. I plugged it in to check it out, and I immediately knew that it was the sound that I had been looking for. I drove straight home to load up my current rig in my truck so I could trade it all in towards the Marshall. So one Crate half stack and $200 later, it was the 90s after all, I finally had my Marshall JCM900 Dual Reverb 50 watt. I still have the same JCM900 that I bought back in the mid-90s, and I even had a second one for a while about 15 years ago. But as occasionally happens to all of us at one point or another, I hit a spot where I needed cash more than I needed a stack of amps, so I sold it. But I've kept my eyes open for another one at a good price, and a few weeks ago, I found one locally on Facebook Marketplace. The owner was selling a 50 watt dual reverb along with a Marshall 1936 212 cabinet for the reverb price of just the amp. And since I've also always wanted a 1936 cabinet, I had to jump on the deal. Due to its use of clipping diodes in the preamp circuit, the online consensus of the 900 is that it's solid-state trash and that it's completely incapable of sounding great, or even good. But frankly, those people are just wrong. People will talk about how any solid state circuit is complete garbage and then stick a Tubescreamer in front of their JCM900 or their Dual Reverb. And I also suspect that with the 900, like many other things, most of the people who are trashing it online have never actually owned one and are really just parroting what they're hearing everyone else say. If you crank the gain all the way up on channel B, can it get a little bit fizzy? Sure. You know what else can get fizzy if you crank the gain all the way up? Those 90s dual rectifiers that everyone absolutely loves. Now, I am not bagging on the rectifiers at all. I like them. What I'm saying is, maybe if you back the gain off on the 900s just a little bit, you can actually get a pretty great tone out of them. Back the gain off on channel B, spend some time with the EQ, and you can get this amp to sound awesome. Another popular option is to actually run channel A as a crunch tone and then stick an overdrive pedal in front of it for higher gains. Some people will even run an EQ pedal through the effects loop, though I've never needed that for my sound. As I've said in previous videos, does the 900 sound like the 800? No, it doesn't. But does that mean that the 900 is bad? Of course not. The 900 just sounds different. It's its own thing. Now, the 800 is an absolute classic for a reason, and I do own one. But it's okay for the 900 to sound different than the iconic 800 and still be good. More importantly, we don't need the 900 to sound like the 800. We already have the 800 and all of its reissues for that sound. And let's not forget that the whole reason that Marshall started experimenting with clipping diodes in the first place is because the 800 didn't have enough gain to satisfy player needs. There are lots of 800s available out there if that's the sound that you want. And while I love my 800, the challenge for me is that so many people use them. If I'm also going to play a Marshall, it gets difficult to not have the exact same guitar tone as everyone else. If you're looking to stand out a little bit, a 900 may be the better option for you. Give it a try, spend some time with it, and you might find that you love the 900 just as much as I do.